Welcome back to Out to Lunch with WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I'll be taking you through the rest of this hour. We've got a great conversation set up for you today. We try to give you a great conversation almost every day, but subject matter experts, we love subject matter experts over here. We want to know a question. We want to know something. We bring somebody over that's got the idea. Don't just listen to me. My goodness. Please don't just listen to me. I appreciate you listening to me, but don't just. One of my new friends has just come in. That is Jennifer Fukala, the executive director of Downtown Neighborhood Association. Thank you very much for being with me here today, madam.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be back at WRMN.
Yeah, and there's lots and lots of things that happen. It seems like when the sun comes out, the world just opens up. It's phenomenal just to see the growth and the sun, and man, I love the springtime.
I do too, and I definitely echo that. It seems like as soon as the weather starts to get nice, downtown Elgin just comes alive and is crawling with activity already. So
absolutely, we've been talking about that periodically throughout the episode today, and a lot of it is because just across the street right now, the shawarma stop at 11 Douglas is finally getting their sign. We've been looking at your sign, which is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
The coming soon to downtown sign, which is great. But I have been looking forward to seeing them. They started construction about the same time that we kind of took over management over here. So it's kind of been like seeing the growth happen on both sides. So this is happening not just here on Douglas, it's happening all over Elgin.
It's happening all over Elgin. And the really exciting thing for us at Downtown Neighborhood Association is that it's happening all over downtown.
Wow.
Specifically. So we're seeing kind of a groundswell, a group of new businesses coming in right now, some existing businesses that are expanding because of their own success, and a variety of construction and renovation projects that are in process. You know, all of this, you know, we in downtown revitalization work, which is what our organization focuses on, you know, growing the economics and the vitality and the success of a specific area for us, downtown Elgin. You talk about converging trends and, you know, wanting to have, you know, when things happen one at a time, it's easy for them to fade into the background. But when you have a large group of things happening at once, those are really indicators of change. And you know, that's what we're seeing going into this summer. So it's a really exciting time. The timing is really great at the beginning of summer, when people are going to be out and about. There's going to be a lot of great festivals and things down here to boost everybody's visibility. And we just could not be happier with where we're at this point in time.
Oh, absolutely. The Downtown Neighborhood Association should be proud of how much the movement is around here. Like, that's the best part about it. I get a front row seat to downtown Elgin every day, and I love seeing the hustle, the bustle. I see people that walk. I feel like sometimes I feel like one of those gangsters, right? One of those gangsters that gets to sit at the table, sip my coffee a little bit, have a couple conversations, and just be like, oh, yeah, Vinny, just down there. He opened up a new shop. It's really good. Like, just seeing that hustle and bustle. So I'll see somebody walk past empty-handed. Soon, maybe 45 minutes later, cup of coffee, bag of whatever shop that they just went down to.
Right, or some food.
And that's just part of the lunch hour of it. And that's the best part about the walkability, I think. And how much have you all focused on that? Being able to go to one place in Elgin, in downtown, but be able to have access to multiple places for that. Is that kind of like a plan of yours?
That is absolutely the overarching goal is to continue. You know, we're continuously working towards creating an increasingly more walkable environment. And that, you know, that's really kind of overarching projects and initiatives and, you know, conversations that we're always having, you know, with other partners on this. But when it comes to actually working with the businesses, you know, a lot of what we're doing is often behind the scenes, talking with people that are interested, helping them identify spaces that would be most appropriate for them, because we have relationships with all of the property owners as well. We're also kind of doing the same thing for people that want to be property owners and are looking to purchase buildings. So
Okay.
we're providing support for everybody's needs behind the scenes, and then also acting as really as a translator between the business community and the municipality to help everybody understand what needs to happen on both sides, and to facilitate those shared goals and just expedite that process. Every community handles things like permitting differently, and it doesn't matter how experienced a business owner is. If they're coming somewhere for the first time and doing something in a new place, there's going to be questions. There's going to be things that they may not have anticipated, and we're here to smooth that process out as much as possible and help them feel supported throughout it, because the reality is that leads to a much higher rate of success of businesses getting open, no matter where you're at.
Gotcha. Then that sounds like a fantastic plan. Because it is a plan, it's an ecosystem. It is multiple layers, like you said, the convergence as it goes through.
Sure.
So with all of the projects that are happening here in downtown, what's kind of the timeline or the workflow for it? I'm an entrepreneur, so
Okay.
if I'm an entrepreneur and I also have to talk with the municipalities, where in that I've got an idea, I've got to start looking for places, where in that timeline do you come in? Do you come in before or after the municipality? Hey, I've got a problem with the city, or maybe I've got a great idea with the city. The city just turned around and said, here's a grant to do something.
Sure.
Where do I go?
So usually, we get looped in, people get looped in with us at any point at various different points in their process. We start by assessing where they're at in terms of readiness and preparation. What are their next steps? Making sure they understand what those next steps are. Sometimes people don't understand what the next steps should be. Sometimes people will call us and say, I want to open a business, and they think the first thing that they need to do is talk to property owners with vacant spaces, and that's just not the case. You need to have a good business plan. I need to understand what the operational components of the business are. How is it going to function? What does the day-to-day look like? What are the different services or offerings that the business has that building needs to support? Making sure all of those plans are together, and that things like funding are secured before somebody is going to take that first step and start talking to property owners, and certainly before people are starting to sign contracts or anything like that. We want to make sure everybody has everything ready so that they're in an advantageous place before they take those really solid, important steps.
We're talking with Jennifer Fucala, Executive Director of Downtown Neighborhood Association of the City of Elgin. Where can people find you, Jennifer?
The best way to find us would be downtownelgin.com. That is the DNA's website. That is the Downtown Elgin website. So that serves our organization, but it's also built out to serve the business community and the public when looking for any information about Downtown Elgin. So we offer a variety of support services to the downtown stakeholders. That's the business owners, the building owners, and the residents of downtown, but also to build a hub or a resource for the community itself when they're looking to get information about what's going on down here, find a business, potentially find an available property, understand what events are coming up and how they can participate. So our website does all of that. And of course, you can contact us on there. You can get information about our organization on there. We're completely transparent about who we are and what we're doing. We're also very active on Facebook, and we're active to promote downtown Elgin as a destination, but also to promote the businesses within it. So a lot of what we are doing is echoing and amplifying the business's marketing efforts to build it into kind of the cohesive messaging of this is everything downtown Elgin has to offer.
Gotcha. Is there anything that downtown Elgin is possibly missing? Is there a certain business that you're like, look, we need this type of business, or we need one of these down here? Are we looking for an ice skating rink in downtown Elgin? I'm not sure.
That's a great question. So, in our the full spectrum of our work, we have committees and volunteers and board members who are working on some of these more long game type efforts of, developing, doing community research and market research. So we have developed a list of what are those businesses that we feel are priority
Oh, great.
for downtown Elgin. We did actually just update that, and that is live on our website as well. And it's called the 9 Most Wanted.
Okay.
So that was based on, that's something that we did years ago. And last year we actually did a new strategic plan. You can also find that on our website. But the new
DowntownElgin.com.
Yeah, the new strategic plan involved a tremendous amount of community outreach. We worked with an organization called Main Street America. They're a national agency that supports downtown revitalization agencies such as ourselves. So we brought them in to do this project with us. And we had over 1,300 survey responses from the community. So they did a deep dive of gathering information from the community about everything from their lives to their shopping habits to their wants and needs.
Wow.
In addition to a tremendous amount of market research that they did through, high level, databases and different things like that within their organization. And then they came here for a visit, and we did focus groups and all of that. And, all of this resulted in a 30-page report that is going to be a guiding report for our organization for the next 3 to 5 years of our work. So, some of that was making sure that the business offerings of downtown Elgin are aligned with the market needs.
Okay.
And the immediate market for downtown Elgin is the surrounding neighborhoods. A lot of people don't know this, but within a 2-mile radius of this address where we're sitting right now on Douglas is 85% of the entire population of the community of the 6th largest city in the state.
Wow.
If you're not serving those people, then somebody's not going to come from 3, 4, 5 times further than that. Those are the people that are, in some cases walking distance from downtown. So making sure that their needs are met, their wants are met, and, also the people that are currently living down here, if you're living down here and, making that commitment to living in a walkable environment. Is it actually walkable? Do you have the services that you need, or do you need to get in your car and go drive somewhere? So the selection of businesses that we have on this list are tailored through that lens.
Okay.
Of all of that research. And then, we have a committee of people, many of whom are downtown stakeholders themselves, but also people that have other expertise in economic development, relevant city departments, for example, things like that. And we tailored this list down. So,
This is the 9
most wanted. Yes.
Most wanted.
Yes. And this is intended to be sort of a guiding document that, if entrepreneurs are interested in considering downtown Elgin as an option, what are they really looking for? Is my business a good fit? There's definitely some research materials on our website that businesses can use to answer that questions for themselves. But this is kind of just a quick hits outline of, what are those concepts, those business concepts that are top of mind right now.
Okay.
So we did
Of that 30-page study you have.
Yes, and everything that we've done with it since then. So I can say that 2 businesses that the community brings up a ton across all demographics are an ice cream shop and a brewery. Those are the top 2 requests.
Well, look out. I'm voting on that as well. My goodness.
All of the above, right?
Can we combine those?
Yeah, I'm game. If somebody wants to come up with a concept, please come talk to me. There's also, a lot of feedback that we got that, Elgin is an extremely diverse community. The neighborhoods and that 2-mile bubble that I talked about is half Hispanic. What are the specific needs of the Hispanic community and their cultural differences?
Did that come up in your report as well?
It did. Yes, it did.
And I guess due to that, that community also wants ice cream and beer as well.
Yes.
Was there anything else that kind of stuck out for you on there as well?
That were specific to their community.
That were specific to the
absolutely.
community.
And these are things that were intentionally recently added.
Okay.
So things like cultural retail. So what is cultural retail, right? Things that are specific and unique to that culture that involve family traditions, tastes in art and decor and lifestyle. So
like a specific cultural grocery store, or maybe
Here's a great example.
art aspect. Go ahead.
Yeah, here's a great example. So, celebrating the 15th birthday in the Hispanic culture is extremely popular. The
quinceañera.
quinceañera. We have a lot of great event venues down here that host quinceañeras. Families spend a lot of money on creating these experiences for them, for their family, for their daughters, but also for the extended family. It's a very important cultural milestone for them. So, having shops that cater to some of the retail needs of that, dresses, some of the supplies and decor that are used for those events, formal wear.
Yeah.
That is all really part of cultural retail.
Yeah, I haven't seen a party supply store or anything like that here. So yeah, I could see where these are the most wanted to put them over.
Also, like the art and decor that might be, coming from artists of that culture or imported. Those are things that people are looking to display in their homes, or looking to incorporate, for gifts and things like that. That's something that is very specific and traditional for them. Our downtown, the biggest message that we got was that our downtown and our community is big enough to house the needs of the entire community, not either or, not in a self-segregated manner. We are a diverse community that has a lot of different needs here, and there's plenty of space available for everybody to come and have businesses that cater to those needs in our downtown. So
yeah, if the residential can look that way, the downtown can look that way as well.
Agreed. And just making sure, that's kind of the approach that we've taken, is to really take a fresh look at ourselves and say, are we really being inviting to, the full range of what we're hoping to attract, and just tailoring and tweaking that approach. And that's just one of the things that we've done going into this.
You hit it really well. We definitely say attract. You want a city to grow, but you also said service. Is you want to service the people who are already here. I mean, they decided to live here. They decided to make this their home. So you want to make sure that it in the 2-mile radius, you said 83%?
Yeah, like 85%.
Wow. That is amazing. So trying to not have ice cream deserts.
Right.
That sounds like a fun job.
I know.
That sounds like a fun job.
It is a fun job. It is, definitely. And then, when we end up talking to that business, based on what their needs are, we can help recommend specific spaces that we would think would be really, really great. Either that building has the infrastructure needed to service that business. When an ice cream shop, sometimes that's things like plumbing codes.
Yeah.
Does that building have the infrastructure to handle it? How much is it going to cost to get there? Those might be very different options,
in
right?
2 different addresses.
Totally.
Absolutely. You've got 6 addresses that you gave me here.
Yes.
What are some of the great ones that are happening here?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
I see yoga. I see plant care. It seems amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with a business that just opened a couple weeks ago, Motomax Power Sports on 227 DuPage Street. So this is a great motorcycle and power sports business. Basically, they sell refurbished high-end used bikes.
Wow.
So, and it's not just motorcycles, it's also things like Vespas and trikes and all kinds of unique non-car vehicles. And they do some importing and exporting of bikes as well. So they've got kind of a diverse business scheme there. But we did a ribbon cutting for them recently, and they called us up and told us that they sold 2 bikes on their first week.
Wow.
So if you're looking, they've got things like limited edition Harleys. They've got sport bikes. They've got cruising bikes. They've got all kinds of unique, not just kind of off the shelf models. So that's definitely something to check out if you're into, biking in the summer, motorcycling in the summer.
Even a place just to look at and see some of those amazing things.
Yeah, it's really neat right up there on DuPage Street. The next business that's going to be opening, I can announce this right now on the air, Royal Plant Care on National Street, 54 National Street. So that business is going to be opening on May 31st, and we're going to be hosting a ribbon cutting at 4 p.m. So I hope all of our listeners will mark their calendars to join us and see what it's like to actually help welcome in a new business. So, our team will come there, do a ribbon cutting for them. We'll do a Facebook Live. We put a press release out before that. So we do everything that we can as an organization to prime the pump for them, if you will, to get them in front of as many people as possible and get as much attention for them as they're opening as we can. And beyond that, it really is kind of up to them to then execute. But, we're here to support, we're here to answer questions, all of that. Up on National Street there, that building that they're going into has been vacant for a while. It's looked kind of rough for a while, and really what I'm hearing from the business owners as they're preparing and they're kind of cleaning everything up and doing their build out and, and decorating their space and getting all of their product laid out, that, they're really hearing from a lot of the neighbors that live right around there that are very excited for them to open. So they're going to be offering 10% off all potted plants all day. And this is a really cool business.
31st?
On the 31st, May 31st. So follow DNA on Facebook, and you will be able to get the details on that. That information is gonna come out today, but you're hearing it here first on WRMN. Really cool business. So this is a great example. This is a Hispanic-owned business. The business is houseplants, home decor, and landscaping design.
Wow.
So you can come there and get everything that you need for the inside of your house in terms of houseplants, art, home decor, and then also helping with the landscape designing of the exterior of your home. So they have expertise in both. They obviously, have a crew that can come and do installations at people's house and things like that. They, all of that material is stored off site. In a landscaping yard somewhere, but when you come to want to get a design done, you can come to their shop and enjoy that space and get those services there, as well as getting your houseplants repotted. They do workshops, care classes, all of those things.
Wow, that's fantastic. I want to hear a few more stories. Do you have some time?
I do.
You have some time for me?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. We're talking to our new friend, Jennifer Fucala, the executive director of the Downtown Neighborhood Association of the city of Elgin. We're talking about downtown, some success stories, some awesome places that you need to check out now. Don't forget, you can find all of that information at downtownelgin.com. We'll be right back after the news to talk a little bit more about the growth and upward momentum of the downtown Elgin area. Downtownelgin.com. We'll be right back after these.
How many times have you heard about or driven past the Volo Auto Museum and still haven't checked it out? They have over 200,000 square feet of heated showrooms filled with countless collections of the most amazing mechanical marvels in the world. From incredible collector cars, movie cars, trains, boats, and planes, to a Disney gallery, dinosaurs, vintage arcades, kiddie rides, and a medieval torture exhibit, plus the Titanic Museum. They're open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit volofun.com.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 1 o'clock.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Skyrizi. Explore proven results with Skyrizi. Representative Anna Moeller has proposed a bill to ban competitions that would lead to the hunting of so-called fur-bearing animals. A recent contest in Western Illinois led to the killing of 400 coyotes. For prizes in excess of $15,000, this bill would ban such a competition. The City of Elgin's Memorial Day ceremonies include Mount Hope Cemetery at 8:30 a.m., Lakewood Memorial Park at 9 a.m., Veterans Memorial Park at 9:40 a.m., and Bluff City Cemetery at 11 a.m., where the Iraq-Afghanistan National Memorial Remembering Our Fallen will be on display from May 25th to the 27th. Starting June 1st, Illinois is launching an initiative aimed at easing the process for teens seeking their first driver's licenses during the summer months. Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulis announcing that 10 driver's service facilities in the Chicago area will open Saturdays specifically for teen drivers. This program will run through August 31st. With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. No matter the time of the day, WRMN 1410 AM is your platform to voice your views, share your stories, and connect with the Valley like never before. We're more than just radio. We're a community conversation that's always live, always local, and always looking for your input. Want to chime in on the drive time deal with Matt McNeil? Got a hot tip for first shift with Marky B? Or maybe you've got a question for a one-on-one with Leah. Now's the time to make your voice heard by calling Studio 14 at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You can join in the dialogue from wherever you are by commenting on our YouTube live streams at WRMN Radio. Hit the subscribe button to get notified when we go live and bring your comments to the table. It's easy, it's fun, and hey, it's what neighbors do. We talk, we listen, we engage. You're not just the audience, you're part of the show. Call in, comment, and let's make radio interactive. WRMN 1410 AM, where your words are part of our wavelength.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. The Cubs beat the Braves 4-3 at Wrigley Field on Tuesday. Nico Horner hit a game-ending infield single in the 10th in his return to the lineup. Mike Tauchman had a pair of hits and 2 RBI for the Cubs, who had dropped 3 of 4. Luke Little tossed a perfect 10th for his first career win. Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson had a pair of hits in his return to the lineup. He was activated from the 10-day injured list after being sidelined with a right knee sprain. Justin Steele starts tonight for the Cubs. The lefty's 0-1. He'll take on 3-2 left-hander Max Fried. The White Sox shut out the Blue Jays 5-0 in Toronto Tuesday. Garrett Crochet and 3 relievers combined on a 2-hitter. All 5 White Sox runs came with 2 outs. Crochet gave up 2 hits. He struck out 4 and walked 1 over 6 innings of work in his 4th consecutive win. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now, when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on the first shift.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help you.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
You can't haze. You'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
Keep informed with everything that's going on with the Radio Shopping Show by joining our VIP text club today. All you have to do is text the message WRMN 1410 to the number 94253 and you're in. You'll receive timely information about shopping show specials instantaneously as they happen. Message and data rates may apply. The voice of the Valley and the home of the Radio Shopping Show, we are WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch, WRMN. Take WRMN out to lunch with you. You can go ahead. You've got that Library of Alexandria in your pocket. You could look up anything on the planet. Why not look up WRMN1410.com? You've got a couple minutes. You're probably dual screening it right now, and it got the radio on in the background. All kinds of different stuff that's going on. My new friend here is joining me to talk about the downtown of the city of Elgin. That is Jennifer Fucala, the executive director of Downtown Neighborhood Association. You can find more information about the DNA at downtownelgin.com. They have collected the data. They have ran the numbers. They have asked the experts, top experts, and they have found solutions for the business and the city of Elgin. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing some of this information too. It almost seems like a dark art sometimes of the people that kind of push businesses through. I don't know if any of you listeners out there have ever tried to start a business or grow a business or move a business out of your garage into an actual brick and mortar. It's tough. You need friends, you need pathways, you need places that have already happened. Trust me, you're not the first person.
That's right.
You're not the first person to have this mistake. You're not the first person to have plumbing issues or the first person to move into the wrong place for 6 months and need to go to a whole nother place as it goes. But we've got success stories today. We talked about the Royal Plant Care at 54 National Street, and then we also talked about MotoMax Power Sports that opened last week at 227 DuPage Street. I guess that would be 227 as they would say it there. But we're talking about a little bit about these other success stories that are here. Jennifer, can you tell me a little bit more about some of these pride that we're running into with this summer growth?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we have some additional businesses that are all planning on opening this summer, and DNA took this opportunity since we have such a significant group of businesses that are all preparing to open. They're all in the process of working to get open at the same time. And, when a community member or, a visitor, drives down a street and sees a vacant space, they may wonder, what is going on there? Is anything going on there? And, we saw an opportunity as these businesses are working through their processes and preparing to open to answer that question for the public. Mm-hmm. And so we actually had some beautiful new signs printed that say coming soon to downtown Elgin. We're rolling this out as a new program. So these signs are reusable, and we'll be offering these to any new incoming businesses, while they're going through their permitting process, while they're waiting for an inspection, while they're doing their build out. Sometimes these things take 3 to 6 months in order for the business to be ready. And we don't want the public to think nothing is happening there this whole time, especially when we have so many businesses that are in that pipeline right now that have, these are all businesses that have passed the point of no return. They're going to be open. I mentioned a couple that have just opened or are going to be, opening in the coming weeks.
Just to hit that real quick is that mindset of it too, is if you think, even as an entrepreneur, you think that the business isn't going or there's nothing in there, you're not going to open up shop next door.
That's a very good point.
It's that perceived side of it.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, since I've seen these pop up, that excitement you can feel.
Sure, because you see it, right? And then you see it online because we'll share a post of it. And then you drive down another street that maybe you don't drive down that often. You're like, oh, wow, I recognize that sign. There's another one.
Oh, they're putting in a thing over here.
Exactly. And so we want this to be just popping into people's consciousness as they're navigating through their daily lives. And that message amplifies every time they see it, right? It's reinforcing that something is happening. And you know, some of the other things that are happening, we have a yoga center that is opening right around the corner from WRMN. So you're going to get all your flexibility and your and your Zen-like moments that you need from the yoga center, which is going to be over here on Highland Avenue. They're going to have a beautiful 3,000 square foot space. The gentleman that's opening this trained at one of the best yoga training facilities in Schaumburg called Tri-Balance Yoga. It's really well known. And he could have opened his business in Schaumburg and been one of, 8 yoga studios. But we convinced him that being our #1 yoga studio here in Elgin was a better bet to make. So we're really excited to have him opening soon over on Highland Avenue. We've also got Elgin's first dispensary coming to downtown Elgin down by the Butera Plaza. Took us a long time to get that done. They looked at other locations first, and ultimately this was the best option to go forward. And this was something that the community and honestly our city council has been pushing for the last several years. They created an ordinance to make these businesses allowable here in the community. And this is the first one that we are going to have here selling legal cannabis in the city of Elgin, which is a new tax revenue stream for us and all of that. So a lot of benefit there.
And you said these are a lot of firsts as well. Were any of these two, the yoga center or High Haven, were any of those two previously on the Most Wanted?
The cannabis studio or the cannabis dispensary was.
Okay.
And so we've taken it off because now
ice cream, beer, and weed. That's it. Well, you know what?
I mean,
hey,
simple people, right?
That's it.
Simple needs.
Circus and ice cream is what we need.
Right. You can already get a haircut down here. What else do you need, right? High Haven Dispensary, and this is actually being opened by somebody that grew up here in the community. This is not one of the big companies that's kind of corporate backed.
Oh, great.
This is somebody that actually has been in the industry for a while, done well for themselves, grew up here in the community, and is opening the first Elgin location.
And these are first adopters. These are people that are taking the risk to say, no, I'm gonna prove the model.
Sure. Agreed.
Once you do that, then you say, well, you know what? Yeah, there's a reason that there's 6 or 7 yoga studios in other towns.
Right.
Is because it's successful. So great success is what I hope for all of these businesses.
Great. We've also got some seconds and thirds here. So businesses that have already been successful elsewhere and are now seeing an opportunity to open their second location because they've been so successful. That's also a great sign that somebody who's experienced is seeing the opportunity here. And I have a business called Churros and Chocolate that has a location in Algonquin. They are very successful. They've been a destination business. They also have a food truck. And now they're going to be having their second brick and mortar location in Elgin, which is going to back right up to Riverside Drive. And so you're going to be able to have churros on a patio on the riverfront. And then if you need to, you can go next door to El Patio and get a margarita. You can do all of that.
Wow.
You can hang out. You can watch the ducks float by on the river.
You're paying the best Saturday afternoon.
And then on Fridays, if you want to really kick things up a notch, that's where we host our farmers market. So all of these things are going to be happening in the same space. So we're really excited to have Churros and Chocolate coming to downtown Elgin. I think that's going to be a great addition. They're going to be having a whole host of desserts. Their whole menu is based around the concept of what can we do with a churro? And they're going to answer that question for you. They're going to answer it really well.
It's there. We do have gift certificates over at the radio shopping side of WRMN 1410 for Churros and Chocolate. Wonderful place, wonderful people that are over there, and I'm so glad they're closer. Oh my goodness!
I know. I saw somebody. There was a couple people walking down the street the other day, and I may have been eavesdropping on them as they were walking by, and they saw the sign and was like, Churros and Chocolate, and they looked at each other and said, "Oh my God, we're going to gain so much weight." And I couldn't help but laugh.
Fun.
They didn't know I was hearing all of this behind them, but
that's so much fun.
Definitely put that on your bucket list. They'll be open this summer. So In addition to that, we've got some businesses that have been really successful and are expanding. So I'll mention them briefly.
Yeah.
We have a bike shop, Elgin Community Bikes, has taken on a much larger location, also on the riverfront along Riverside Drive. They will be in that farmers market zone, so you can ride your bike to the farmers market, get a repair, or maybe you got to pick up a part or something while you're there. So that's going to be on Riverside Drive, 69 Riverside Drive, and also ETC Co-working right across the street from the radio station is going to be expanding. They're already located in the second floor of that building, and they're taking on another former law office space on the ground floor because they have so many members. So this is a great opportunity. If you're working from home and you need a place to take meetings, or you need to get out of the house because the dog keeps barking on your Zoom call, ETC Co-working is a great option for you because it's essentially an office membership business. So rather than taking out your own lease where you're locked in for 6 months or 12 months, and maybe you don't need to be there every day, there's a variety of co-working membership programs that you can join there and just use an office when you need one.
And having a downtown address too.
That's been really big also because they do have a program where people can use their address as, for business address.
Absolutely. So if you do work from home, and like you said, if you do need to take that personal call, or maybe you only have you work from home, but you do need to have that more professional Thursday meeting.
Right.
That is a great place to go to. Memberships for all kinds of scales. The other side of it too is you are also working side by side other small business owners.
Sure. And they have some great events, like they do a monthly event called Small Business Study Hall, where they bring in a guest speaker that's relevant to small business needs, things that they do some kind of service that's small business support, whether it's accounting or any number of things. And the businesses come together, for a presentation, and then also to essentially learn from each other about how each other is handling this in their business. So they're studying their business together. It's sort of like a group environment of entrepreneurial support over there.
Yeah, it's really neat. I'm glad they're expanding. They need more space for more desks, which means there is more growth.
Right.
I love it.
That's right.
Upward momentum.
And just because you invited me to stay a little longer, and I have more to share on top of all this, on top of all of these new businesses, expanding businesses. We also have a whole bunch of renovation and construction projects going on down here as well. We have a building that was a 5-story office building that was very underutilized. It's being redeveloped into 40 apartments with ground floor retail.
Wow.
We're hoping to bring in some kind of grocery concept there on the ground floor, so some kind of corner market. But that's going to be 60 or so additional people living down here. The city of Elgin is renovating the courtyard at DuPage Court.
Okay.
That's an area of downtown that is kind of a public plaza courtyard. There's a lot of restaurants right there that have outdoor dining.
Is over there. There's a Jimmy John's, a few other places.
So that courtyard had not been renovated or redone since the early 70s. It was sort of the last piece of downtown Elgin streetscape that really needed a facelift. And so that project is going to be wrapping up in June, and we're going to have a brand new public plaza, public courtyard for the summer to enjoy.
And that's just down from where you guys do the farmers market
It is.
too.
It's very close.
So that's when we started out this conversation. It was about that walkability. It was about the come here for a certain thing. Okay, I need to get a haircut.
Right.
So you come down here, and then what are you going to do? We all don't want to waste gas.
Right.
We want to turn around. We want to say, what are we doing? Even if I don't live in the downtown area, I still drove over here, or I took the bus, or I walked over here. I don't want to leave necessarily after my half-hour, 45-minute haircut, however it is. I've got the rest of the afternoon to do. What do you usually do when you walk outside? What am I going to do?
Right. Well, you might want to get a sandwich and go to the record store and see what they got. Or, you might want to take your ice cream and go down on the riverfront, like I said, and walk down to Festival Park.
It's amazing. The options that are here and the growth that is happening. So you spoke a little bit about events. So I want to talk about the future. What else do you have other than the farmers market going on? Are there a few more events that are coming down the pipe?
So There is a ton of events that are going to be happening down here throughout the season that are hosted by a variety of organizations and agencies. The leader of which would definitely be the city of Elgin. They have a lot of events and festivals, everything from the 4th of July parade to a Hispanic Heritage Festival that's taking place for 2 days in September.
Wow.
And they have a whole event listing, movies in the park. They've got the Elgin Pride Parade coming up. They've got, really, I could just go on and on. So it's best bet would be to check their website for the listing of all of the city events.
Okay.
You can certainly follow our Facebook page. Essentially, what we do at Downtown Neighborhood Association, we always say, I don't need to own it. I just need it to be successful. So I don't care who's hosting an event down here. We're going to help promote it because we need it to be successful.
Yes.
Little known fact, we actually did a count on how many events we promoted last year that were hosted down here. Now, this is big events. This is small events. This is, everything from a sidewalk sale to a Nightmare on Chicago Street, which 17,000 people come to, right?
Wow.
Over 600 events are held down here
600
on an annual basis.
My goodness.
I know that sounds shocking, and it is. But there is so much going on down here if you just take the time to plug into that information. And it could be as simple as following our Facebook page. We also offer a weekly e-blast that we send out on Thursdays that kind of gives you a rundown of everything happening for the weekend. You can join that on downtownelgin.com. We make it super easy. You can listen to WRMN and hear about amazing, great things here. Really excited to be offered the opportunity to speak here today. So thank you so much for welcoming me. And I love what you guys are doing here too with just kind of refreshing your offerings and highlighting some new things.
Absolutely. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to turn around and refocus our energy back into that community. They're our neighbors. They're our friends. DowntownElgin.com is where you can get some of that information. Where can people find you on Facebook? Is it Downtown Neighborhood Association?
It is. Downtown Neighborhood Association, Facebook page. We also have a page for the farmers market. That's Elgin, Downtown Elgin Market. On Facebook, and that will be starting on June 7th. It will run every Friday through the middle of October, and throughout the summer it'll be open from 3 till 8 p.m. on Fridays weekly. And then once it gets a little later in the season in September, we close at 7 because it starts getting dark on us. But we are going to have a lot of fun this summer down there. We invite everybody to come kick off their weekend every week in downtown Elgin. Relax, unwind, have a beverage, shop, buy some vegetables, maybe go out to dinner afterwards at Shawarma Stop, for example, another great new business. As we're doing this show right now, we are watching a new business post their signage right across the street. So I think you got some of that on camera.
Oh, it's so neat.
Really exciting to be able to actually see it as we're talking about it here today. So that piece we didn't plan, but how great that it worked out that way.
It's true. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. That is Jennifer Fucala, Executive Director of Downtown Neighborhood Association for the City of Elgin. Find more information at downtownelgin.com. Sign up for the weekly e-blast. Never miss any of the 600 things that happen right here in downtown Elgin. You are listening to Out to Lunch with WRMN. We'll be right back after these. I've got more news, more things to talk about here at WRMN. We're going to be out in the world later on this week. Stay tuned for that as well. YouTube channel, this interview will be on there. Check it out, WRMN Radio.